Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting, so I'm going to tell you all about it. Hi, welcome back. It's a welcome back for everybody, including me, because it's been a while since I have uploaded a video. Usually I upload every week, and that has not been true for the last few weeks, and I'm not sorry. I mean, I don't think anyone should ever be sorry for taking a break from uploading or posting or whatever. Live your life. But it's just kind of funny because my last podcast was episode 39, and I made a point to say, oh, I should say, this is episode 40 of my podcast. Anyway, I made a point last time to say that I didn't want to end the year with only 38 podcasts. So then I filmed 39 and posted it, but I really also didn't want to end the year before, like I wanted to end with 40 podcasts because 40 seems like a better number than 39. But anyway, that didn't happen. That's fine. Life happens. But sitting and recording a YouTube video just did not feel like what I wanted to do the last few weeks, so I didn't do it. Instead, I chose to enjoy my time with DJ. I went and visited my family. I enjoyed my time with them. And now I'm back home and ready to get into the swing of things. New year, 2025, you know, etc., etc. So, hey, how's it going? I hope that you had a great holiday season, that whatever you were celebrating was joyful for you, that your new year brought, I don't know, joy, excitement, promise of a wonderful future. I don't know. I just hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get started. So like I said, this is episode 40 of the podcast. I briefly was considering, like, how do I want to approach the numbering of my podcast episodes? Like, now that it is a new year, do I want to start back at 1? But then I thought, no, because if all goes according to plan, I will be doing these videos for the foreseeable future. So I don't want to have like one set that goes to 39 and then one set that goes to, I don't know, 40 and another set that goes to 41. Like, I just want to have a continuous counting chronology. Yes. So this is episode 40, even though it's a new year. First podcast of of 2025, episode 40. So let's go. If you're new around here, I post, not recently, but usually I post every week going over my project updates, what I've been working on, my thoughts about those projects. I also post different kinds of videos. I have an FO Diaries series, which is a series where I walk you through a pattern I've knit. I'm really behind on them. Like, for instance, I finished this Lumme in, what was it, March? I haven't done my finished object diary video on it yet. But I do them sometimes, and that's fun. I also go on knitting tours, and I post about those. I'm going to have some knitting tours videos coming, hopefully next month. I need to finish the recap from the tour that I went on this past October, and I also want to make a video going all over the trip that I'm hosting this coming October. It's no longer next October because now we're officially in 2025. But anyway, I'll tell you all about that later. So all that to say, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure that you're subscribed so you know where to come back to watch future content. Okay, so now that we've gotten all that stuff out of the way, the salutations, the info, now let's continue and start, as we often do, with project updates. So I have 3 projects to update you on, and that's not a lot. 2 of them you have seen before on the podcast. 1 of them you have not, but I have talked about wanting to make it many, many times so far on the channel. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first project that I have to update you on is my Alchemy Pullover. This is currently in testing. It's a pullover sweater pattern designed by Leslie of Knit California, and I am so impressed by this design. I plan to make another one, at least one more, maybe more than just one more. I made a size that has, I want to say like 0 to 2 inches of positive ease on my body. But the pattern is written to have somewhere around 9 inches of positive ease. So I want to make another one that is the sizing intended in the pattern. Even though this is kind of my preference, or at least I thought negative to very minimal positive ease was my preference. This Lumme actually is what kind of, I don't know, drew me over to the dark side of positive ease, because I really like how this Lumme fits on me. And I think that I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it has several inches of positive ease. I'd have to measure it, but that is gross. I don't want to do that right now, so I'm not going to. Okay, so the Alchemy Pullover, I'm going to make another one, and I think that I'm going to make it in Carpet, my most prized sweater quantity, or one of my most prized sweater quantities in my whole yarn collection. It is a beautiful green colorway dyed by Cesium Yarn, and it is basically an homage to the carpet of my family cabin. If you've been around here, you've heard me talk about carpet before. Sorry to make your ears bleed with the repetitive nature of being alive. But anyway, I think that I will knit another Alchemy Pullover in cardigan, or not in cardigan, in Carpet, and have it be oversized and drapey as the pattern is intended. Some fun things to note about this sweater. First of all, I challenged myself to knit this in 13 days from start to finish, and I'm happy to tell you that I was successful. I cast this on December 13th, because that is Taylor Swift's birthday, and her favorite number is 13. These are all things that Leslie has told me. Because this sweater, the Alchemy Pullover, is inspired by a sweater that Taylor Swift wore to a sports match in days long gone by. Anyway, so incorporated some Taylor Swift symbolism into my knitting practice when making this sweater. Cast this on the 13th, and I finished it on the 25th. Now, you may be thinking, that's 12 days, Rachel. And guess what? You're not the only one who thinks that, because I sure thought that too. I thought I had until the 26th to finish this, but in fact, if you count day 13, really, like day 13, the 13th of December as day 1, then the 25th is day 13. Don't ask me why numbers are the way that they are. I don't know what to tell you, but I finished this on December 25th, Christmas Day. So 13 days of active knitting, and I have a sweater that I absolutely love. I love the fabric that this made. I incorporated a tighter gauge. Basically, over the last few months, my gauge is always, it's a fluid, it's like a living being. It's a beast of its own. It's never, it's always changing, it's always growing, it's always learning new things, it's always a new version of itself when I'm making something. But in the last few months, I've really been able to achieve tighter tension, which is historically a very elusive thing for me to accomplish. So I did accomplish it with this sweater, and I just love the fabric that it made. And something that I'm very impressed by, I used exactly the recommended yardage for my size listed in the pattern. Pretty awesome. I obviously am not wearing this right now, but you should have been able to see a photo this whole time, or maybe it's over here, of me wearing it. I just love this sweater. It's not released yet, but when it is, I think it's set to be released sometime in February. You've got to make it. I highly, highly recommend it. The details on this are very sophisticated, if you ask me. There's this beautiful detail that goes along the shoulder slope and then all the way down the body. Can you tell? Can you tell? And then also, when you pick up the front stitches, that detail is here too. So it's on either side of your arm, the front and the back. Just gorgeous. Stunning, gorgeous, stunning. It's a drop shoulder design. So you knit the back panel that. And then you pick up stitches for the 2 front panels, and then you join the 2 front panels, knit flat, and then you join in the round with the back panel, finish the body, pick up the sleeves, knit the sleeves. You've got a sweater. So that's the Alchemy Pullover. Definitely keep an eye out for when this pattern is released. It is a great sweater. I knit this one according to pattern for the length. So it's a bit cropped on me. Like, I can still wear it with my high-waisted jeans and it doesn't look, I don't think it looks bad. But it's not like the style pairing that I normally wear. If I'm wearing a sweater with jeans, I typically don't wear cropped sweaters. I usually wear cropped sweaters almost exclusively over my dresses. So this looks really, really good on top of a dress. But my next one, I may add length to the body so I can wear it with jeans. However, I'm going so fast, I'm losing my breath. However, since I plan to make a bigger size, 1 size, maybe 2 sizes bigger, this will drape on my body more. And since this has very little, if any, positive ease, it's like all the work that it's doing is to stretch across my body instead of hang on my body. So when you have a sweater that doesn't have a lot of ease, the cropping is, in my experience, a lot more pronounced. So when I make my next one in a bigger size, I'll just keep trying it on as I go to make sure that I'm getting the length I want so that it's not cropped. But since it will be oversized, I may not even have to worry about that. But that's just something that's on my radar to keep an eye out for. So there's the update on my Alchemy Pullover. It was really satisfying to finish this, not only because I finished it in 13 days, but also because, as many of you may remember, my goal in December was to finish all of my active projects. So to get this on the needles and then off the needles while it was still December was very, very satisfying. I was very proud of myself. So now let's move into the next project, which was not as much of a raging success. So let me go grab my Straya. Here's the deal with this sweater. This is the Straya cardigan by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. Every time I have revisited this sweater to work on, I hit a roadblock that is so emotionally devastating that I want to throw this entire sweater away. I don't even want to harvest the yarn. I just want to get it out of my life. So I need to step away when that happens and take a minute and breathe and collect myself and realize there is more to life than being frustrated at what's happening with my sticks and my string. So anyway, I worked on this diligently and exclusively from December 26th to December 30th. This is all that I worked on. And I hated my life when that was what I was doing. Some people have asked me, like, why is this so cumbersome? Why is this so burdensome to your heart? Well, the Straya is a fingering weight cardigan, and it's knit in half fisherman's rib. So half fisherman's rib is a stitch pattern that is very similar to brioche knitting or mosaic knitting. I'm sure there are other examples, but those are just the 3 I know of. Half fisherman's rib, brioche, and mosaic knitting, where essentially every row you knit is basically the equivalent of half a row in your stitch pattern. So you have to knit 2 rows in order to get a row's worth of length. So essentially that means you're knitting twice the amount in order to get 1 garment. And when you're doing that in a fingering weight yarn, it's incredibly, incredibly slow. Which, you know, that has its time and its place, but I just hit a wall. I could not continue working on this exclusively. But what I did get done in those, 5-6 days, was I got this far on the sleeve. This is like during winter break, dedicated knitting lots and lots and lots. I could not even finish 1 sleeve. That's a big yikes. So I had to put it away because basically I wanted to never knit again in my whole darn life. So I needed to take a break from this project. Now, when I tried this on, I wasn't sure how much I liked the sleeve slope due to the, what's the word? Rapidness of my decreases. I can't remember how often I decreased. I think it's I know it's on my Ravelry project page. But I just didn't know if I liked the look of it. So I was contemplating frogging the sleeve and then having basically a week of work erased. But I'll tell you what saved this sleeve from being frogged. I was working on this while we were staying at my in-laws over the Christmas season to celebrate with them. And there was one evening that was a little scary because of some extreme weather. There were really high winds and kind of like we were waiting to see if a tornado was going to form one night. The power went out, so we were all sitting in the dining room just, you know, waiting it out together. And it was, I was scared, I was stressed, and I was also working on my Straya by the light of our emergency lanterns. And so there's a portion here that I worked on during this little tornado watch we had, where you can see I made a mistake. There's like this chunk of pearls where it should be in the ribbed pattern. And it's kind of difficult, at least for me, to ladder down and fix mistakes in half fisherman's rib. And so I was briefly considering if I should frog the few rows to go back and fix that mistake. But then I figured I really liked how this is like kind of a tangible, physical, imprinted memory of an experience I had with my family on the fabric of this garment. So that is what saved this sleeve. But I just felt so free when I gave myself permission to leave this battle for another day. So I'm sure I'll get a burst of motivation to work on the Straya. My Straya is now over 2 years old. It's been on my needles that long because I cast it on Christmas Day, 2022. So maybe it will be done before it's 3 years old, but who knows? Who knows? It'll happen when it happens. But that's the update on my Straya. So that means I failed at my goal to finish all of my active projects in the month of December 2024 and enter this new year with no projects on my needles except, you know, whatever new projects I would start. That's okay. Life goes on. It really bothered me at first. Like, I think the first day I started my Straya, I was like, I have to finish this. I really want to finish this. It's a goal I have. But then as I continued to work on it, my motivation to finish it diminished at the same time as my self-loathing while working on it grew. So I just needed to take care of my heart. So I put this aside, and it is remaining aside because I don't want to touch this with my needles for a while. I still need to recover. Okay, so that leaves us with my Felix cardigan. I'm going to show you my Felix cardigan, but my battery's about to die, so let me switch it out real quick. Okay, I've got a new battery in, and I have my Felix cardigan here, so let me show you. This is the Felix cardigan by Amy Christoffers, aka Savory Knitting. It is an Aran weight, I believe, cardigan. Basically, I'm knitting this with a strand of DK weight and a strand of Sari lace weight, and I'm knitting it on size 10, US size 10 needles, which is what the pattern calls for. And I cast this on, did I tell you this? I cast this on December 31st, so it does have 1 foot in 2024, and I've been knitting on this exclusively since I cast it on. I have the body completed, and I'm a good chunk of the way through my first sleeve. This pattern is very interesting because at first glance, it's not size inclusive. I have a lot of thoughts about you know, the conversation around size inclusivity, and I don't, like, I wouldn't say that I only knit size inclusive patterns. Like, there are some garments in my wardrobe that are made from patterns that are not size inclusive. If I could go back in time and change that, would I? I'm not sure. Would I, like, commit to only knitting certain patterns ever? I'm not sure. But anyway, it was an interesting roller coaster with this pattern because it's not, like, at first glance, like I said, it's not size inclusive. I forget what the metrics are. But then someone pointed out to me that the measurements are based on the upper bust, so right under the armpit, not the full bust. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's more size inclusive than it seems then. But after having the pattern and knitting it, it's not really. I mean, it's not, because I'm making the second to largest size, and it's gonna have only a few inches of positive ease on me, I think. I'll have to see when all's said and done. But yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. I just think there maybe is a bit of a roller coaster. It's interesting though, and one of the very, very nice perks of this pattern is that all the sizes start the same. Use the same cast on numbers. I think that, yeah, the short rows, same for all the sizes. The differences between sizes takes place when it comes to the repeats, you know, emphasis can change the sound of a word a lot. Repeats of these eyelet rows. So if you were making a smaller size than I'm making, you wouldn't have as many of these eyelet triangles. If you were making the next size up, you would have more of the eyelet triangles. So that's nice in the sense that you don't need to swatch, really, because casting on is your swatch. This is similar to the ranunculus. By the way, if you know of other patterns like this that start with all the same numbers across sizes, please let me know, because I love that. I love it. I love it. But this is one of those. I really like how this looks. I finished the neckband and the button bands at the airport because I had a very long day at the airport last week, and now I've just been working on the sleeve. So really, really liking this. I'm very excited to wear this. Oh, here's like some cool stuff maybe you might care about. When I had this yarn, like I've had this yarn on my yarn wall, and you can see the remaining skeins I haven't wound up yet. Up there. I've had this on my yarn wall for a long, long time. The DK Weight Fairy Thimbles. Let me just grab it for you to show. Okay, the DK Weight Fairy Thimbles I purchased in October or November of 2023. So it's been around for a while. It's just such a gorgeous yarn. It's this light, lavendery, lilac-y purple. It matches my nails really well, actually. But you can see pink undertones, there's blue undertones. It's just stunning. So I've been saving this for the perfect project, but I wasn't sure what it was. And then this is another fairy thimbles, but of course on a different base. This is on the Chime Sari base. These are both, I don't think I said, these are both from Clockwork Fiber Co, formerly known as Beachy Breeze Fibers. So that's why this label says something else. But now it's Clockwork Fiber Co. So these are both from Sam of Clockwork Fiber Co. Both bases in the colorway Fairy Thimbles. I picked up, I want to say 4 skeins of the Sari, maybe 3 or 4 skeins of the Sari from Maryville Yarn Studio, Hook and Needle, which is a local yarn store in Maryville, Tennessee. I love visiting Hook and Needle. If you're ever in East Tennessee, you've got to check them out. But once I picked this up and I took it home and I realized I have Fairy Thimbles also on DK, then I was saving both of these bases to be used together. So for a long time, I was planning to make the Felix cardigan with this yarn, but I just never started it, never cast it on. And I should say also, the only reason I have the Felix cardigan pattern is because someone purchased it for me off my Ravelry wish list. So thank you so much. Look, it's happening. I'm making it. So anyway, I had the yarn for a long time, never cast on. Well, I was ready to cast on because after working on the Strya, fingering weight, half fisherman's rib, oh my gosh, the intensity. I was ready for a large needle project that would work up quickly and just not feel so tedious, you know? But then when I was looking at that corner of my yarn wall and seeing the DK and the Sari of Fairy Thimbles, I thought, okay, I know that Sari sheds, and like maybe this isn't the best choice for this yarn because I don't want to wear a light cardigan over a black dress. This is often how I style my knits, and then just have light purple shedding all over my dress. That won't look cute. That won't look professional. And so I thought maybe I should make a doppio. I've made a doppio before. I made it from start to finish in 7 days. Wasn't really happy with how it turned out, so I knew that I would make a doppio again one day, but I had never planned for this to be the yarn combo I would use. So I caked up the yarn, and I fully planned to cast on the doppio, but literally as I sat down to cast on, I was like, I don't want this in a doppio. Like, I don't care if it sheds. This is gonna look so good in the Felix. And I just have to say, I'm so glad that I honored that feeling, listened to that feeling, and went forward with the Felix because I just love it. There are some issues with the pattern in terms of copy editing that gave me some roadblocks, like not a tech editing issue, but some places that were confusing just because of formatting. So I'll go over all of this one day eventually in my FO diary dedicated to the Felix cardigan. But so far I'm very, very happy and very much looking forward to wearing this and having it in my wardrobe. So that's it for project updates. The next thing that I want to go over is my spin diary. Sorry if you heard that crinkling. My spin diary is an exciting update because I'm almost halfway done spinning up this Rambouillet from Long Dog Yarn. Brandy sent me a braid of Rambouillet a few months ago because it was underweight, so she didn't want to sell it at full price, I'm assuming. So she sent it to me. I gladly accepted it, and it's been on my wheel for a while. Just because Rambouillet had a bit of a learning curve for me, but I really, really want to get this skeined up because I want to use my new Vivo skeiner from Kromsky that they sent me on a skein of homespun yarn, just to see like how it compares to hanging up a skein on the Swift and the equipment I had before getting the Vivo skeiner. So this is all that I have left of my first half nest, like a nest of fiber of half of the braid's worth. So I'm almost halfway done. And it looks fabulous. Let me enter a shot here so you can see. I love how the blues and the purples just blend together so beautifully. It's like a watercolor painting of like a sky at dusk or twilight. I really, really like how it's turning out. So there's an update on my Rambouillet braid from Long Dog Yarn. Having a great time spinning. Also, side note, did you see that Kromsky came out with a purple spinning wheel? A purple spinning wheel. This is my new Roman Empire, and I need it. I need it. I've already decided that I will have this purple spinning wheel one day. I don't know when that day will come, but I must have it. Spinelli needs a sister, so therefore we need to get that purple spinning wheel in this home. I'm thinking Spinona Rider will be the name of the purple spinning wheel when I acquire it one day. Whether it's sooner or later, I have no idea, but, you know, keep an eye on this space because I am chasing that carrot, and the carrot is a purple spinning wheel from Kromsky. Okay, so that's my spin diary update. Now let's move on to acquisitions. Give me a second here, and I'm going to get rid of the crinkle stuff to protect your ears. Stand by. Okay, so my first acquisition is something that was waiting for me when I got home from visiting my family. Leslie sent this to me. I think I knocked my camera. There we go. Leslie sent this to me. Initially, we talked about her sending this to me and I would send yarn from my collection and we'd do a swap, but then I totally forgot, and then this showed up on my doorstep. So it also came with the most thoughtful card I've ever read. So thank you, Leslie. I teared up a little bit. But this is Night Triumphant from Honey and Quill. McKenna is a yarn dyer based out of Boston. And this is inspired by Reese from A Court of Thorns and Roses, or Court of Mist and Fury, or A Court of Barcelona and Cheese. I don't know. All the courts that are out there. So this is nylon sock, 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. A little sampling of this was in the advent that Leslie sent me in December, and I just loved it so much, and she had this yarn in her stash, and so I'm so happy to now absorb it into my stash. I'm not sure what I'll make with it yet, but I really, really, really love this colorway. And also, she sent me these cute stitch markers that she got at the San Diego Fiber Festival, San Diego, whatever it is. The San Diego something they had a little while ago. And it says all sorts of words. I won't say them out loud because my nieces and nephews sometimes watch this. And some of them can read. I hope you didn't read that, kids. Listen, don't say that. You're not allowed. I'm an adult and I can say that. But you need to listen to your parents. Okay, so anyway, got these cute stitch markers. I'm excited to use them. And then also, what other acquisition do I have? Oh, I have to go grab it. Hold on. No, I don't have to go grab it. It's in this room still. So I thought that it was still in the dining room, but DJ and I are doing this thing where we're trying to not put stuff down, but put them away. So I put this away. I brought it to the craft room. But this is my second month subscription of Row 1 Yarn. You may remember in December, I have it right here actually, I got this subscription box from Row 1 Yarn. So basically what happens is Row 1 Yarn sends you 10 of these mini cakes. They're each 10 grams and they're all from the same dyer. Also, they're all the same base. So you get to sample a dyer that may be new to you. And in fact, both months, sorry for the crinkling, both months, these dyers have been new to me. So this month, the yarn is from Pearl Talk, and the base is called You Socksy Thing, which is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and 10% tencel, 4-ply fingering weight. 433 yards per 4 ounces or 100 grams. So let's see. There are 10 different colors: pepper speckle, not pepple speckle, pepper speckle, black light, tealy dan, Bordeaux, Bordeaux dapple, Mad About saffron, bronze, crimson, damask rose, and peaches. Okay, so this dyer is new to me. I haven't used last month's yarn at all yet. I'm trying to have the perfect scrappy project that I can incorporate all of these yarns in, because I'm also getting February's because I was gifted a 3-month subscription. So I don't know, maybe should I start it now? Should I wait until I get February's? What do you think? But I think that's such a cool idea. What a great way to sample a dyer that you maybe haven't heard of before, or that you've wanted to try but haven't had the ability or the motivation or whatever. The stars haven't aligned for you to try their yarn. Now you can try 10 different colors and have a nice doable project to make from it. So I think that's a really good idea. As always, thank you, Laura from Row 1 Yarn, for gifting me the Carnival Club subscription. I think it's going to be really fun. I just need to pinpoint a project. Also, this month's subscription came with a really cute 2025 stitch marker, but I've since put it away because I'm not putting it down, I'm putting it away, and it's just too much to dig it out right now. So that's it for my acquisitions. Let's move on to announcements. First announcement is the Irish Knitting Tour is still open for signups. As of today, filming, this is Sunday, January 12th, we have room for 8 to 10 more knitters and 4 additional non-knitters after that. Okay? Can you wrap your brain around that? So the tour is moving forward. We have our confirmed minimum of 15 people. And I'm going to be making a video all about the tour that's dedicated just to this upcoming tour, walking you through the itinerary. But if you want to sign up, the link to the itinerary and all that stuff that goes over what we'll do day to day, the price, all those things, that's in the video description as well. So, I'm very excited about this year. I think it's going to be the best tour yet. This will be the third Irish knitting tour that I've hosted in partnership with Knitting Tours. They take such good care of us, and I'm just thrilled. Thrilled to stay at a castle. That's a new thing we're doing this year. I think it's going to be fabulous. We're staying at these cute cottages on the castle grounds. We're going to have our dinner in the castle restaurant, our breakfast in the castle restaurant. So we'll be passenger princess while we're in the coach, and John is making fun of us, and then we'll get to be real princesses, princes, whatever, when we get to the castle. It's gonna be fabulous. Can't wait. What's a non-binary word for prince or princess? Royal heir? Basically, it's gonna be fancy, and I'm excited about it. So, if you wanna join, link is in the video description. What else? What else do I have to tell you? Announcements. I want to make an Everything I Knit in 2024 video, but I don't want to do an Everything I Knit in 2024 video, so I think what I'm going to do, if I do it, is a superlatives of 2024 video. So I have to compile my list, but keep an eye out for that. What else? Subscribe. Enjoy your day. I don't think I have anything else to part with you on this. Anything else to update you on? I'm just looking around. Have I forgotten something? If I have, it will just remain forgotten. So I hope you're having a great day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.